What I'm about to talk about is the end game. What has just happened in the US with its debt has never happened in the history of our country. When I say it's the end game, it's because there's a big crash coming. But I want you to understand, it's not the end of everything. People thought the end was happening when the Great Depression happened. A lot of people thought the end was happening when the Great Recession had kicked off, that it was never going to be the same again. But the good news about all of this, and I know that doesn't sell views or get people all excited, but it should, is that the sun will come out tomorrow. This crash is going to be short, fast. And when I mean short, I'm talking about a couple of years. It is going to feel like everything's ending, but it's not. And you need to be ready for it. If you're not ready for it, then you're going to be like the ones that sat on the sidelines in 2012, not being able to buy up houses for pennies on the dollar, buying stocks as the stock market had crashed 50%. I want people ready. So here we go. This story is at a zero hedge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my other channel, The Real Estate Ninja. And I highly suggest you follow me over there because the mortgage-backed securities industry is imploding now. That market, there is investigations going on and people leaving high-level positions in a company that you've never heard of, but everyone's going to know about in about 6 months. All right, so follow me over there after this. This story is at a zero hedge. It's entitled Endgame. Interest on U.S. debt skyrockets above $1 trillion for the first time ever. It's never happened before. Government borrowing costs are getting so expensive, it's insane. And you're watching the government take out so much debt to fund these wars all around the world and try and hide things that they have been continually hiding from us that are slowly coming out in the public's eye. It says back in July, when we first had a look at the unprecedented horror show that is the U.S. budget deficit and concluded correctly long before the Q2 refunding announcement that debt issuance was about to explode and yields would soar, we warned that the debt Rubicon was about to be crossed and the U.S. debt interest payments are about to hit $1 trillion. Fast forward to today, when the end game has apparently arrived. According to the Treasury's own calculations, total interest is now over $1 trillion, or 1.027 trillion to be precise. I want to make this very clear, and let me know down below what you think about this. But all of those tens of thousands of IRS agents that are being armed and they're buying bullets and all of that stuff, those aren't for the rich people. See, the government is now about to see itself bring in less money in taxes than it pays on its debt. Our country is finished financially. The whole world sees it. The world is acting like the US is already done. China, Russia, India, South Africa, they've put together an alliance that is so strong. They're buying up so much gold. They're making so many pacts because they know that the end is nigh for the US economy. And if you're not getting ready for that, I don't know what to tell you. This is the greatest opportunity. I do not want to see the elite get richer. I want to see you become more successful and rich. More millionaires are made during bad times than in good times. Please understand that. Now it says here, we calculated this by multiplying the average interest rate on marketable U.S. Treasury debt, which according to the Treasury is 3.096% as of October 31st. Let me hold on real quick here. Thank you, Single Father, for the super chat. Which nets off to $805 billion, and adding to this non-marketable debt interest, and which in turn is an additional $222 billion in interest, add across and you will get $1.027 trillion. Remember, just recently, the government did a big push to borrow money from people, industry, whatever. And they even stated, oh, don't worry, it's not like we're just printing up money. We're selling this debt, these bonds, to be able to pay like 85% of it or 90% of this money is going into paying back other debt that we owe. So they're at the point where they can't even bring in enough money in taxes to turn around and go, oh, we're screwed. We can't pay back our debt. So now we're issuing debt to pay back debt. You know, the current regime right now has done a great job of lowering your tax deductions, you know, like taking some away, like the, the accelerated deduction for buying a vehicle for business owners, you know, 6,000 pounds or heavier. Instead of being able to write off 100% of it, you can only write off 90% of it. And that's just one example of what they're doing to manipulate the tax code to bring in more money. All right? You know, it's like, what was it, George Bush that said no new taxes, and we all know that to be completely false. Immediately got hired as the president, and boom, taxes, taxes, taxes. We are at a very pivotal point right now. And I go around the country and I watch people on vacation. I just went to a theme park and saw a ton of people there. And I'm telling you, not all those people, most of them put those tickets on their credit card. They have no concept of what's happening right now. Naturally, it says this calculation of estimated real-time interest costs, which are entirely based on Treasury data, is different than what the Treasury actually paid. Interest costs in the fiscal year that ended September 30th ultimately totaled $879.3 billion, up from $717 billion the previous year, and about 14% of total outlays. However, the number is merely lagging what the pro forma print currently is and will inevitably catch up to it, and then lag on the other side, even as pro forma interest payments start dropping. Fans of exponential functions, we got you covered. The unprecedented surge in both interest rates and interest expenses in the past 2 years means that total U.S. interest has doubled since April of 2022, and that's with the inherent lag in interest catch-up. As a reminder, the vast majority of 5, 7, 10, and 30-year debt is still locked at much lower interest rates. And as such, but that's the past. As they keep taking on debt at higher rates, we've got an issue, right? Especially with those short-term bonds that they took out a while back. But it says, and as such, rates will continue to rise as all of the existing debt rolls into much higher rates. I'm reading ahead of myself. You guys know that I read these stories first with you, right alongside of you. Looking ahead, the staggering surge in both yields and total long-term treasuries in recent months confirms the government will continue to face an escalating interest bill. As a reminder, we were the first to point out that it took just 1 month after the U.S. federal debt rose above $33 trillion for the first time to spike by another $600 billion, bringing the total to 33.6 trillion more than the combined GDPs of China, Japan, Germany, and India. You see, the fact is the government has had the ability to print money crazy and export inflation throughout the world, but that has now stopped. Countries are no longer wanting the dollar. This is proven by the fact that they're not showing up to our treasury auctions anymore. This is a big deal. It is going to continually cause the costs of certain goods and services to increase in our country. I keep pointing out the bad things, but at the same time, all I see is the good things. Because wherever I see a crisis, I see a way for us to all make money. Sorry, this darn hair's... This is insane. Now with commercial mortgage-backed securities, I started covering that a couple years ago, causing the banks to implode. Now we have mortgage-backed securities. I'm going to move over to my other channel, The Real Estate Ninja, and do a live stream in about 10 minutes. Please follow me over there and hit the subscribe button. That channel is exploding because this one got put in the penalty box. I can't say much more about it. And it's going to be covering all the same stuff, not the same topics, but like it's a broad economics channel. If you want to get ready for this, there are so many people that are dying to buy a house right now. They have no idea what's coming and they need to wait. I'll put more of those 80% off links, how to prepare for the real estate crash. Nobody is teaching this. Nobody is teaching real estate cycles on the internet. sometimes the best thing to do is be patient and wait, but you need the actionable items, the steps to take to be successful. And I'm running into students all the time that are blown away with what they've seen since they bought that course. And that course is selling like gangbusters. And it's such a blessing for me and my family, but also it's intended to be a massive blessing for you. Because once you can put the big picture together, you're going to absolutely crush it in this. But you have to do it a certain way, or you will fall to the exact same trap as what 95% of Americans are about to fall into. And they're already falling into it right now. They don't even see this. They don't want, I can't even say certain I can't say certain things on these videos, and I try to skirt it because it won't get out to the people. But I'm telling you right now, this government borrowing is out of control, and I believe that you will see 1 trillion in a month sometime in 2024 be borrowed by the government. We're now at $1 trillion every 10 weeks. Think about that. Remember when it was crazy when the debt went from 17 trillion to 18, then it went from 18 to 19? There's gonna be a day where it's gonna go up in a month, $1 trillion. We're at $1 trillion borrowed in 10 weeks. Our government is completely insolvent. There is catastrophe everywhere, and they're gonna make sure that in 2024, you're gonna see crazy catastrophe. So I'm gonna try and do some very risky things with this channel. And so I would please ask you to follow me over to the Real Estate Ninja or just Real Estate Ninja channel. Hit the subscribe button. There's going to be some rebranding over there. Thank you, SC Foods. This is a big deal, but this isn't to bury your head in the sand. This is for the alpha men and women to stand up, put their head up and go, oh, I got this. We're going to be ready for this. We're not letting some elite dweeb get richer off of the backbone of the American worker. We're going to get richer. They don't want this information out. It's been made clear to me. It's time to take action now. If you guys want, there's 80% off links, $199 for the real estate crash course, how to prepare for the real estate crash course. Start doing it now. And I will tell you this, how many people, by a show of hands, wish they were that ready in 2008 to buy up assets? This will put you on that path. It will give you a plan on how to prepare right now. And then I have a special event, offer coming pretty soon to everybody that's in the course. And also, just so you know, as of January, the courses will never be this much because I am doing a totally new rebranding. I've tried to get this information into as many people as I can. Now I'm going to focus on the very serious students, the very serious people that are ready to rock and roll with this, because this is no joke. All right, I'm going to go live on the Real Estate Ninja in about 5 to 10 minutes. I'll see you guys there.